So a couple days ago, we did our best of 2022 list. And I know a lot of you don't want to watch through that whole damn thing to get the list. So we're going to just kind of do a quick rapid fire. Now, I had explained in that video that we skipped the numbering,
the numerical.
Yeah, the numerical.
Like ordering, the numbering. We skipped it. No numbering.
I was gonna say numerical.
Yeah.
And then I was like number, and I just got caught in the middle.
So we became numbering.
Numbering,
I like
yes,
it.
I like
That's
it
the new
too.
word.
Yeah, we dropped the numerical order because I find it to be fairly arbitrary in the end because it always remains kind of fluid.
Yes.
And every time I look back at a year-end list in the past that I've done, I've wanted to alter everything.
Yeah. I think that it is in flux all the time because anytime we return to a movie after time has passed, you're like a different person and the movie can impact you in different ways.
Sure.
And even just thinking back on it, you have a different like opinion of your memory versus the experience itself.
Sure. But I will say that typically, I'd have to go back and look at every list. But typically, I do really enjoy every film on the list. It's just the number,
right?
You know,
what order
I put them in.
Yeah.
Just kind of like Empty Man, for instance, was way too low.
It's a big regret of yours.
That's a big regret of mine. I think about all the time. It should have been my top 5 easily.
Yeah.
But I put it as number 18, and I hate that. So this is why I don't want to number things anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to numer them.
No more numbering.
No more numbering.
I'm
So, we're going to give you 21 titles really quick. There was 52 films or something, 53 films this year that I rated 4 stars and above. This is going to be the films that I rated 4.5 stars and above, and that came out to 21 films, and Kaylee and I's list were pretty damn close. The only thing, there was only a couple things. I want to say Fresh was on your list for sure. And I could definitely throw in a whole bunch of extra titles here like Hatching and Moloch, which we really, really enjoyed. And man, there's so many films. We're going to stick to the list here and we're going to make it quick so you guys can just get to
hear them.
Yeah, what we think were the better films of 2022. And I don't need to sit here and tell you that lists are subjective. If you don't like our list, get fucked. I don't really care. Cry about it all you want. There's going to be titles on here that you hate. And if you need someone to, jerk you off and tell you how smart you are and how perfect your list is, fucking go somewhere else. So, all right. So from here up, you can put it in whatever order you want. But I will tell you which are like my very, very favorites in the end.
The cream of the crop.
Yes. So we've got The Menu with Anya Taylor-Joy and Ralph Fiennes, which was a really fun film. We got Soft and Quiet, which was the exact opposite.
Oh my god.
Not fun at all.
Very hard.
Very
to
upsetting
watch.
film. We've got Sissy, one of the biggest surprises of the year.
So good.
And this pairs well with Terrifier 2 because those both have my favorite kills of the year. Never in a million years did I think Sissy would be on the level of kills
as Terrifier,
2. But Sissy has probably my favorite kills of the year over Terrifier 2. I said this in my live stream and I stick to it. There's something about it's because of how unexpected they are.
Yes.
And how invested
they are.
I am in Sissy.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And the characters and everything. So the kills really, really hit super hard. And Terrifier 2, as I had said, mostly just for the kills and Lauren's character because the story is fucking non-existent and people blow the film way too hard, even though I did really enjoy it.
Yes, I did too.
There is no story in
but it's just slashy goodness.
Yeah, and
that's
all it needed to be.
Yeah.
That's all it needed to be. But people need to stop talking about it like it's the second coming because hopefully Damien will throw a story that's interesting and relevant in part 3. But we can disagree on that for here. Next up, we've got Day Shift, another super fun film, just action, gore, one of my favorite fight sequences of the year, if not my favorite fight sequence of the year. Jamie Foxx's character versus the old woman in the opening just had me laughing, had me cheering. I was so into it. But another film that had one of my favorite fight sequences of the year is Prey, which is also on this list. Great movie. Huge surprise, mostly for Kaylee.
Yeah, mostly for me.
I was really looking forward to it. She wasn't.
And I ended up loving it.
And we both had it on our top 20 of the year.
Yeah.
Next up, a film that really disturbed Kaylee. What Josiah Saw. I love it. I think it's got a lot to say, and I think it would serve really well on a second viewing.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and there's a great twist, and I think it really would work super well on a second viewing. A phenomenal performance here is what mostly carries this film because it mirrors another film that's on this list, and this is the more inferior version, but still a very good movie with arguably the best monologue of the year. And no, I'm not talking about Pearl, but that is arguably the other. It's a toss-up between Resurrection, which is what I'm talking about here with Rebecca Hall, giving her monologue, which is fucking phenomenal and heartbreaking, devastating. And Mia Goth's in Pearl is different. It's psychotic and unhinged.
Yes.
But also sad.
Unhinged. Yes.
But man, Rebecca Hall's is just, it's Oscar-worthy shit. Yes.
Yes.
It's incredible. Next up is The Innocents, which is just a great film. Hard to watch, has some animal cruelty for those of you who will be turned off to that.
Yeah.
But
it's not fun.
But it's, it is a really good film about what it would be like to give kind of low-level superpowers to children who are evil.
Who are evil.
Who are evil. Next up is a wonderfully unexpected found footage film that is ultra low budget, but Kaylee and I both were super crazy high on it, and this is Godforsaken. It is on Tubi if you have not seen it. If you're a found footage fan, it is an absolute must. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it is very impressive.
Yeah, just go watch it.
For the budget that they had. Next up is another one that Kaylee and I were both madly in love with, and this would, there are a few films. In fact, we almost made a video, and we probably should, but maybe we will. But remember this for when we do that video, because we'll bring it up again. And that would be the most overlooked films of the year, like most underrated. The films that no one's talking about. Godforsaken was one for sure.
Yes.
And needs way more attention than it's getting. The next would be the wonderful, charming as fuck, The Passenger.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Such a great film.
So incredible.
We couldn't get enough of it. I will 1,000% watch a sequel.
Yes.
It leaves it off for one.
Yes.
Please make it. The Passengers.
Yes. There you go.
Yes.
Part 2.
Give us The Passengers. Or
Such
Passenger
a good
2.
movie.
Or whatever the hell you want to call it.
And watch it in the... I think this is one that we didn't find a dub in, but you should watch it in the original language because this is a foreign language film.
Absolutely.
So.
Piggybacking off of Resurrection, when we talked about a film that also is on this list that mirrored a lot of what happened in here, a film that's definitely split in the community. It's an A24 film. This is to be expected. It's Alex Garland. Some people see it as woke. Some people whatever. I don't care. I love this film. Is Men.
Yes.
I can't say enough good about this film. The performance by Jessie Buckley is fucking fantastic. The guy who plays all the men in it, I forget his name. It is Rory Kinnear, right?
Kinnear? I don't know. I think so.
Kinnear, maybe.
Kinnear?
He plays like fucking 74 roles in this movie.
Oh my gosh.
And he's amazing.
So cool.
It's such a cool movie. It's
surreal.
Weird as shit.
Yes.
And it will absolutely turn off probably half the people who watch it, which means I love it.
Yeah, you're going to be like, what the... by the end. But that's good.
Absolutely.
In a good way.
So this is his follow-up to the wonderfully amazing Annihilation and another huge hit for Alex Garland for me. I didn't know exactly what to make of it when I came out of the theater, but the more I've thought about it, I've loved it more and more, and I can't wait to have a rewatch. Good thing I bought it on Blu-ray, so we'll definitely rewatch that at some point. Another film I bought on Blu-ray right after I watched it because it was super cheap, right on day one, is the only werewolf movie of the year that we saw, probably. Yeah. And this is The Cursed. Yeah. This is such a cool take on the werewolf subgenre. We just don't get enough werewolf movies, period. Right? It's just it's an expensive thing. Yeah. It's hard to pull off. Yeah. You got to get a really great practical effects guy, otherwise you're going to suffer from terrible CGI, which everyone's going to complain about. So people and CGI is expensive, even if you do cheap garbage. You know, that's expensive too. So it's a risky, expensive proposition, and they don't usually bring in a lot of box office either.
I know.
Right? So werewolves are a tough one.
Everyone loves vampires, but like vampire movies get made all the time.
Yes, they do.
But werewolf movies
they're
always
cheap.
Yeah, I
just
guess
put some little fangs in people.
That's true. Right. Versus like transforming a human into a man-wolf hybrid.
Sure, and everything's always going to get compared to an American Werewolf in London. So,
sure, yeah.
Even though
it's a shame.
Yeah, I don't know. Bad Moon's my favorite werewolf movie, as everyone knows, and I'll always champion in that film any chance I get. But yeah,
this one was really cool.
Boyd Holbrook brings us a really, really cool film here. I know he didn't direct it, but I like him as a star, and I think this is a really cool overlooked film. This would be yet another one that very few people are talking about, but I love. Next up, another film. This would 1,000% make the overlooked films. Nobody, I seriously haven't heard a single person talk about this except for when we did our video, and there was a couple people in the comments that were like, yeah, I saw that, it was great, right? But like 99% of freaking people, I've not heard this mentioned one single time, and that is the film Shepherd. Shepherd has one of the best atmospheres of the year. It's that isolated, big sprawling landscapes and enclosed, isolation. I love
folk horror and surreal and nightmarish and just really cool. Really, really cool. And it has the actress that we've been seeing. We saw a lot of actually last year that we really enjoyed.
From The Witch?
From The Witch.
Yeah, Kate Dickie.
Yes, Kate Dickie. She is so talented, and I do feel like sometimes like she kind of gets typecast into certain roles, but she plays this like the character in Shepherd so well, and she's so like creepy and unsettling and threatening and just
she's the mom in Moloch too.
Yes,
right.
Or she's not the mom in Moloch, but she's in another movie that we watched recently.
Oh,
it was the matriarch.
Matriarch. No. Yeah.
Was it? Oh, yes, it was Matriarch.
Okay. Yeah, they're similar.
Sorry.
They're such similar
It was
films.
stars an M.
Yeah, they are similar films, too, in style.
But Shepherd is wonderful. Really underlooked, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Now getting into another insanely overlooked one. This is, I mean, we're basically making that list right now, so I guess there's no point in making it because we're just
telling you which ones.
Yeah, we're telling you as well. This is another insanely overlooked, probably Kaylee's favorite overlooked film of the year that almost nobody is talking about, and that is Alone with You.
Yes.
We saw this. This was like the first horror movie we saw in 2022, and we were both huge on it.
Yes.
Super low budget, very, very isolated. 2 actors. I think there's like a mom on a FaceTime call, and then like a girlfriend who's like on like talking to her on the phone, and then kind of having some flashes of her and their relationship in the past and stuff. But it's all like kind of on the shoulders of one actress, and some people, this ain't gonna work for you at all.
Oh, it worked for us so well.
I was so into everything with this film.
Just an incredible performance, and the unreliable narrator aspect is done perfectly. Yeah. And for the low budget too, I feel like they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. Really amazing movie.
Yeah, you have to be into that type of movie. But
Yeah.
there you go. All right, now we're getting into the cream of the crop for me.
The cream of the crop.
Honestly, everything I mentioned so far has been wonderful.
Yes.
So don't take anything away from the films I've mentioned in comparison to these, because these are just a little notch above. Starting with the biggest surprise of 2022 and the film we rewatched the most recently, and that is Smile, which held up very well on second viewing.
Yes, it did.
A great film, a film that could have been gimmicky, garbage, forgettable, shit that they put out every year that you watch, and it's like, oh, that's a fun little gimmick, and you talk about it in like passing as like, oh, remember that stupid movie? This is not. This has staying power
of all of everything that you just said.
And I had also remarked on our live stream that this might be the best horror film of 2022, just because of like the technical aspects, and also like how it is pure horror, and like that it has the best setups for its scares and tension and kind of all the traditional tropes, but like reinvented. So as like a pure horror film, this might be the best work of the year. I really was shocked by how wonderful Parker Finn did with this material, because this could have been so stupid, and he made a 2-hour-long film in something that you would think like, I don't even know how to get an hour out of this, but he made 2 hours, and it all fucking was super relevant and wonderfully constructed.
Yeah, on second viewing, I loved it probably even just a little bit more. I think that like the jump scares still got me, and I think that this story has so much depth to it, that you can analyze, and I really appreciate all of that. I feel like it doesn't hold your hand through things, but it's not so confusing and convoluted that you're like, I don't understand anything of like the rules of what's happening or whatever. So it was a phenomenal movie.
Absolutely. Okay. A controversial film for sure. I'm not honestly sure why, because I think it rules, and I think that it is easily one of the best in the franchise, a very long-running franchise, a very popular horror franchise, and this film got absolutely blasted. I had talked about it on the live stream, of course, people calling it woke, when I was like, it is as anti-woke as I can fucking possibly imagine, and that is Netflix's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is easily one of my favorite films of the year. I loved it. It's one of my favorite experiences of the year. I was cheering and laughing and having such a fantastic time the entire time. I think this is one of the most gnarly Leatherfaces to date.
Yeah.
I think this has got some of the greatest kills in the franchise. I think this has really great character moments. I love Leatherface canceling cancel culture. Like, there's so many great moments in this film. I really like the way they handled the Sally Hardison stuff. I know a lot of people, that's their like negative of the film. Even the people who love it are like, oh, I didn't like that shit. I did.
Yeah, I did.
I liked it a lot,
yeah,
actually.
I did as well.
I really have no negatives towards this film, and I'm heavily anticipating a sequel if they ever make one. But as much as I love this one, please hire the same director, get back the chick who survived, and give me a sequel, because this fucking film ruled.
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and it's a shame that it was so controversial and so divided, but I was there for it. I think everything worked perfectly. I love Leatherface in this, and just everything about it.
Oh, don't worry.
Super well.
We've got a even more controversial film in another popular horror franchise that we're going to discuss here in a minute.
Yes.
But next up, I would say Smile was definitely a big surprise. Sissy was a big surprise, right? Like, we pressed play. So here comes along, arguably like maybe my second favorite film of the year, or I don't know where it would rank. As I said, I'm not going to numerate these.
No numerating.
But another film that absolutely came out of nowhere, and when we pressed play, I knew zero about it. This is easily the greatest found footage film of the year. And it blew me away in every way. It perfectly balances horror and comedy. It has maybe the best lead performance, male lead performance of the year for sure. And this, of course, is Shudder's Deadstream.
So fantastic.
If you're an Evil Dead fan and you're like, I want like Evil Dead 2.0, I want someone to make like an homage film to Evil Dead and nail it. Here you go.
This is it. It's so good. It is so funny. We were laughing for for like the entire film, and it was actually scary at times too. Like it really is a perfect horror comedy.
Yes.
And we like went into it not expecting that at all. So it was such a wonderful surprise.
Yeah, a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yes.
Perfect film. I've got zero complaints. Joseph Winter and crew knocked it completely out of the park 10 times over. 10 home runs in a row. This was just... I said Smile's the biggest surprise of the year. You know, I knew what Smile was. Right? I actually knew Smile existed. Like this was something that I had heard rumblings about a little bit, and then it dropped on Shudder, and I was like, "Oh, cool! It's a found footage film. Let's throw it on." And I was just watching it, and from minute 1 to minute end, I was completely engaged, laughing my ass off, blown away by the 40 different monsters and practical effects.
Oh my gosh, it's so creative.
Just everything in the film. I have no complaints. And I mean literally zero.
Yeah.
Everything is wonderful. These guys, give them any budget, give them any project, let me see it. They did wonderful with this. They did wonderful with their VHS 99 segment they did this year.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. All right. Now, getting into the last couple here. Of course, you knew it was coming. After we talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we have to talk about Kayleigh's favorite film of 2022, and could even be mine. I mean, I don't know. I love it, and I'm willing to fight as much. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Halloween Ends really worked for us. Yes. We've talked about it enough. We did an hour and 40-minute long discussion, blowing this thing left, right, and center. We literally couldn't. I don't know what else to say about the film. We love it.
We love it.
I know you guys, some of you hate it. That's fine. Yeah. Come at us in the comments. I don't really give a fuck.
It's just perfect. It's perfect for me, and I think that it makes the whole trilogy, this new trilogy, complete and better. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, we've talked about it enough, of course. So if you haven't seen it by this point, you should watch Halloween Ends and see what you think of it.
Sure, make your own assessment, and one day this will become a cult classic for sure.
1,000%.
It's kind of already becoming one. And lastly, of course, I'm going to bunch these two together since they go together, and that is Pearl and X, right? Yeah. I mean, another thing. What can I say more about it? Pearl is arguably, if not my favorite film in the horror genre this year. Mia Goth is a revelation. Mm-hmm. I love everything about Pearl. X is wonderful. If Maxine is able to land, you'd have the greatest trilogy in horror history, in my opinion. So, what Ty West has been able to accomplish, him and Mia Goth have been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time, to create such a popular franchise so quick, and the amount of discussion towards Mia Goth from every corner of the internet that I've seen that she should be nominated for an Academy Award actually gives me this much hope that they might actually even consider it. Yeah. I don't think she'll get nominated, but she might actually get considered.
Yeah,
which
she deserves to be nominated, and of course the award. Like, her performance in both films is spectacular.
Yes.
Absolutely spectacular.
But especially in Pearl.
Yeah. Pearl is for sure my favorite, but I love them together, and I'm so excited for Maxine. And, I mean, female slashers, female, unhinged characters, that's what I always want more of in horror, because I feel like we spend so much time with, the male psyche in horror, and going into the dark side of, a female's mind is really interesting, and I love it.
So that's our list. So once again, the menu: Soft and Quiet, Halloween Ends, Sissy, Terrifier 2, Smile, Day Shift, What Josiah Saw, Resurrection, Prey, The Innocents, Godforsaken, The Passenger, Men, The Cursed, X, Shepherd, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Alone with You, Deadstream, and Pearl. So there you go. Our favorite films of the year. Fresh also in there with Kaylee.
Fresh. And then I also mentioned in our live stream Mad God. I had as also which he hated, but I would just like to say it because I thought it was really astounding and just like kind of a marvel to watch. But I know it's not for everyone, of course. So.
I don't need to
watch.
But
I just want to mention it.
Tool.
So yeah.
I don't need to watch a 90-minute Tool music video. No, it's fine. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
But all the others, yeah, those are our tops of the year,
and I know there's omissions here that people are looking for, like Black Phone or Barbarian or whatever, and we liked those.
We
or
did.
Nope, stuff like that.
I really enjoyed Nope.
So I mean, yes, we saw them all. I don't think there's anything else that we didn't see. I mean, I could name all sorts of shit like Two Witches and Significant Other and like Bones and All.
Absolutely.
And freaking White Noise. And
there
was so
really,
many cool films this year. But those are the ones that really stuck out to me that I had to mention. And yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
So 2023, here we come. We're seeing freaking Megan Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll see how 2023 kicks off. But 2022 was a killer year. And I'm so greatly looking forward to another fantastic year. We've had so many great years of horror in a row, and 2022 was no exception. So
yes, so exciting to look forward to the future.
Until our next video, see you then, and let us know what your list is. Bye.
Bye.
It'll just be people bitching about Halloween.